The office tower stood silent in the evening blue hour. Sarah Chun had worked as executive assistant to Richard Morrison for 12 years now. At 58, she knew his habits better than he knew them himself. Tonight, something felt different. Richard had left hours ago for his board meeting across town. But there on his desk sat his phone, screen glowing with an incoming call. Sarah hesitated. In all these years, she had never answered his personal line. The call stopped, then started again. Her instincts prickled. Richard never forgot his phone. Never. She picked up. A woman's voice, cold and rehearsed. "Mr. Morrison, we have your daughter. The warehouse on 5th. 1 hour. Come alone or she dies." Sarah's blood ran cold. Richard's daughter Emma was studying abroad in London. She had just spoken to her yesterday when she called the office. This was a trap. Sarah's mind raced through the fragments. The new board member who asked too many questions about Richard's schedule. The mysterious investment deal that appeared last week. The sudden urgency of tonight's meeting. She kept her voice steady. "I understand. 1 hour." Her fingers flew across the keyboard. Emma's social media showed her safe in a London cafe. Posted 20 minutes ago. Sarah called Richard's driver, then security, then Detective James Park, an old friend from her neighborhood. "Sarah, you sure about this?" James asked. 12 years, James. I know when something is wrong." She looked at the phone again. They would expect Richard to come panicked and alone. Instead, she would give them something else. Sarah drove to the warehouse herself, not to confront them, but to observe. From across the street, she watched 3 men waiting in the shadows. One checked his watch repeatedly. Another paced near a black van. She photographed everything and sent it to James. Her phone buzzed. "Richard." "Sarah, I just got out of the meeting. Someone tried to get me to sign documents transferring company assets. I refused. Now they are threatening me. Have you seen anything suspicious?" "Check your email," she replied, "and stay where you are. Police are handling it." Within minutes, sirens filled the air. The 3 men scattered, but police blocked every exit. James called her. "We got them. They were planning to kidnap him tonight. Make it look like a random crime." "How did you know?" "He forgot his phone," Sarah said simply. In 12 years, Richard has never forgotten his phone. The next morning, Richard stood in Sarah's office doorway. His eyes were red from lack of sleep, but filled with something deeper than gratitude. "You saved my life," he said quietly. "How can I ever repay you?" Sarah smiled, the kind of smile that comes from a life well lived. "You gave me a chance 12 years ago when no one else would hire a woman starting over at 46. You trusted me with your work, your schedule, your life. Last night, I simply returned that trust." Richard shook his head. "It was more than trust, Sarah. It was wisdom. It was instinct. It was 12 years of paying attention when others would have looked away." He placed an envelope on her desk. "Partnership papers. I want you as chief operating officer. Not because of last night, but because I should have done this years ago." Sarah looked at the papers, then at the city beyond the window where dawn was breaking. She thought about all the years of quiet service, of being invisible, of doing the work that mattered without seeking recognition. "I accept," she said, "on one condition. We mentor young women starting their careers. Show them their value does not diminish with age. It deepens." Richard extended his hand. "Deal." As they shook hands, Sarah felt something shift, not just in her career, but in the understanding that sometimes the greatest act of courage happen in quiet moments, when we trust our instincts, when we pay attention, when we choose to act even when we are afraid. That evening, Sarah returned to her desk one last time as an assistant. She picked up the phone that had started everything and smiled. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new responsibilities. But tonight, she would simply sit in the gentle lamplight and appreciate the journey. Because wisdom, she had learned, is not about knowing everything. It is about recognizing the moments that matter and having the courage to act.